So we are in Photo Mechanic. This is not an Adobe product. This is something that is not for editing. It is simply just for culling. And I just recently started using it. I really doubted whether the hype was real or not, but I am here to tell you it is real. If you shoot in RAW, if you do RAW files, you know how big the files are and you know how slow they are to load in Lightroom or even Bridge, anywhere else, in my opinion. And people told me that Photo Mechanic was super, super fast. It was a great way to cull, and I love it. As soon as I figured it out and I started using it, it was a super small learning curve. I'm obsessed with it, so I wanted to show it to you guys. It runs for about $150. I was told around Thanksgiving they do partner with a bunch of other brands or companies, and they do like a charity type thing where you can get Photo Mechanic and a bunch of other programs for $100, and that money goes to charity. So that's something to look out for around Black Friday too. If you want to try this out, there's a free 30-day trial, and then if you end up wanting to use it, maybe wait for that sale, or just go ahead and pay the $150 and make your life easier. So Photo Mechanic, like I said, it's just culling. It loads your photos way faster. You can get sharp photos or photos that are clearly out of focus because you misshot. You can get a clear look at your photos really quickly. There's not a big lag for loading. As you can see, let me move this window in here. I mean, these are raw files that are showing up, and they're showing up quite fast. You know, I mean, there's no waiting for it to render. They're just here. So, and there's different ways you can look through it. You can look through it like this if you want. There's Wild Reese. You know, and you can do the kind of the smaller menu. I have just found that this is the best way that I can look through a lot of photos super fast. And then I am using a Wacom tablet, and I'm just using my stylus to zoom in to look and check focus in areas. So that is another thing you can do, or you can just click this here and pull it up and see a larger view. Now the other nice thing about Photo Mechanic is that it works with Lightroom. So you can see the little stars, and the colors are down here that you can use for sorting and kind of cataloging your files, and then it will save that and export it into Lightroom if you have it set up right. So really quickly, I want to show you how to set that up just so that you have it kind of synced to work well with Lightroom. So what you do is, you can't see it in my menu, but you go up to Photo Mechanic 5 up in the corner, and you're going to hit Preferences. And then you're going to bring your Preferences menu open. And you are going to go to, first, let's go to Launching. Default application to edit photos. So let Finder open files is what the default is, or Assign default application. So if you go to Assign default application, choose. Photo Mechanic is much faster than my computer. And then you go to Applications and you find Lightroom. This basically just means that when you go to export your photos, you are going to export them into Lightroom. You are just choosing Lightroom as your default go-to where you want to export your photos to. So now we're going to go back up to General. And you can see these are their default colors. These are not the default colors for Lightroom. So if you click, you go from Preferences to General to the little lightning bolt, and you can right here click Adobe Lightroom, and now you have their colors kind of synced. So don't worry about these three, we don't use them. And you can see the numbers correspond with the colors. So these will be your shortcut keys 1 through 5. 1 is red, 2 is yellow, 3 is green, 4 is blue, 5 is purple. And our last thing that we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and sync up our 1 to 5 ratings. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's in. So if we go down to Accessibility under our Preferences menu that we pulled up, they have a 0 through 8 color class shortcut. we're going to go to 0 through 5. So 0 through 5, that's the little star rating that Lightroom has. And so we're going to go ahead and set our Photo Mechanic to 0 through 5 as well, so that it matches up and it works well with Lightroom. And then we can use that to choose which photos we want. Now, I will go through and I will call what I want. And all you have to do is use your shortcuts. So if I hit, let me go ahead, there we go. So let's say I am on this photo and I want this photo. And I'm just using my arrows now. I was using my stylus. I'm using my little arrows to kind of tab through the photos. Just use your arrows on your keyboard. And I hit 5. I now have 5 stars on here. So watch this. I'm going to go to the next one. I hit 1. I've got 1 star. I hit 5. I've got 5 stars. So what this is going to do is just save the ones that I want to edit. Me, personally, you can use whatever color or star rating system you like. I don't use all 5 stars. I basically, 1 is it's garbage, it's out of focus, it's a hot wreck. 5 is I want to use it. Sometimes maybe I'll use 3 as like I don't want to delete it, but I don't know if I need it, or it's similar to another photo. But for the most part, I really typically just use 1 and 5. So 1 would be like, this is awful, we're trashing it. 5 is we pick it. Some, you know, just kind of sit somewhere in the middle, but I don't really personally feel like I need all 5. Now, when I am ready to move these over to Lightroom, let me just show you, because I've starred a few as 5. I'm not going to make you actually sit here while I call through all of these, but let me just go ahead and pick a few more that I'm starring as 5s real quick. And then, again, my screen recorder isn't reaching all the way up, but if you go to, well, first let's go ahead and find them. So if you hold down Alt, and right down here, here's where your colors and your numbers are for Lightroom, down here in this little corner over on the right. So I'm holding down the Alt Option key on a Mac, and I'm going to hit 5. And then all my 5-starred photos are going to come up. So you can see just the ones that I did 5 stars on. So obviously that got rid of quite a bit. Now, if I want to add 1, just don't hold Alt and just go ahead and hit 1, and then you will have added the 1-star photos as well. But if I say I just want all my 5s, I'm going to hold down Alt, I'm going to hit 5, and now I've got the photos that I want to go ahead and take into Lightroom. These are the photos I chose that I really, really want to edit, and it'll just go ahead and sort those for you. And then if we go up to, you can't see this part of my menu, but I'm going up to Edit, and you will go to Select All, and that will just highlight all of those. And then you can go to, sorry, like I said, I just started using this a few weeks ago, so this is kind of new for me too. Image and Edit Photos. That'll be up on your drop down. This little window pops up. Do you really want to edit all of the select photos? Yes. And remember how we messed with those settings? This brings you right into Lightroom where you import. So you can see it brought over into Lightroom all of the photos that I had shot and that were in there. But it only checked the photos that I had given a 5-star rating. So even though everything pops up, it went ahead and it saved my 5-star photos and it saved my preferences so that I only have to hit import, and then that's it. Only those photos will be in Lightroom for me to edit.